Just a warning for my viewers, this is going to be a rant video, so if you don't want to hear a rant video, please click away. So, last night I put up a video. I was quite upset about it, obviously, maybe a little, it was the middle of the night, but this is what we're dealing with in Mineola. This guy's strung out. Yes, I called the police when I saw this. Right away I called 911 when I saw this. Alright? This was Saturday, and again, dead town, and a guy passed out on the street, just a junkie, just a bum. He needs to be in jail. He keeps showing up on our streets, and the police don't do anything. If he was in the South Shore, this wouldn't happen. So it's very hard on me, very depressing to see this stuff, deal with this stuff every single day. I have to use that train station when other areas don't have to deal with this. And now they are actually taking away that train from me. So I want to talk about, before I get started with the rant that I get in front of the camera with, I want to talk to you about how I'm getting screwed here, what's happening. And what is happening here is that they are shutting down the entire main line. So pretty much everything between Floral Park and Hicksville, there's no service. Now, the work they're doing is at Nassau Interlocking, which is over here. So I'll draw a blue line over there. It's somewhere over here, right? So they could technically run service to Mineola, but they choose not to run service to Mineola. The only line that's going to be serving Mineola is the Oyster Bay line, and that's utterly pointless because it's just the Oyster Bay line running between Mineola and Oyster Bay. And what they want people to do is take a shuttle bus from Mineola to Hempstead. Now, why the shuttle bus doesn't serve Garden City, I don't know. But I'll tell you this, Hempstead is a dangerous neighborhood, and I'm not going there. Alright? Especially at night, to wait for a shuttle bus. It's too dangerous. I don't know why they can't provide anything at Garden City. So, this is going to be happening for 3 Saturdays. And this is going to happen for countless weekends as we deal and endure this third track project. Now, let me say before I get started, I totally support the grade crossing elimination element of this project, but it is clear that the third track, which I worry is not going to be more. I'll talk about this in my rant, but I'm worried more that it's not going to be about extra service for passengers. It's going to be about extra freight service. So they knocked this whole area out, and it's all part of the big picture because what they want to do is they want to ruin this whole area here, and they are ruining it. They're ruining this whole area by shutting down the service in this area. Everybody is going to the South Shore. Everybody is going to the Babylon line. This is where everybody is going to get their trains on the pretty little Babylon branch, and that's exactly what they want because they want all the business to be on the South Shore. They want the South Shore to do great, while the middle of the island, these are the areas I'm circling in green, East Rockaway too to some extent. These are all very hot areas with the finance professionals. They only want to be their own kind, and they're putting all the investment in the others. This is all designed to bring business and people away from the middle of the island toward the South Shore, and so all the businesses in the middle of the island suffer. All right, and now we deal with the vagrants. It's all part of the big picture to ruin, particularly this corridor right here. Again, that I'm going to draw here, maybe a little better. This corridor right here, they want to ruin this corridor. The corridor between Hicksville and Mineola, the Hicksville and Floral Park, they want to ruin this. It's all being redlined, all right? And I did this in the video last night. This is what's happening, all right? It's being redlined. This is all part of it. No shuttle buses, nothing, all right? All right, and this is what they could have done instead. Instead of redlining it, instead of doing this, making this huge mess that they made, they should have just had a bus bridge between Mineola and Hicksville. No, I'm sorry. Between Mineola and Floral Park, because the work is over here. So you have a bus bridge between Mineola and Floral Park. You have a bus bridge running between Mineola and Floral Park, and that's what you do. And you can also have more frequent service on the Hempstead line, but you also have a bus bridge. So that way people continue to use the Mineola station and can get a bus to Floral Park. Nobody's taking a bus to Hempstead. So what's going to happen is nobody's going to be in Mineola for these 3 Saturdays and countless other weekends. It's all designed to destroy our communities. There's no question about it. So you may wonder, how does this become a big problem for me? Well, it becomes a big problem for me in Mineola because I need to travel east and west to go places. Most important of all is the Pine Barrens. All right, Pine Barrens right here. All right, and yes, the Pine Barrens lie in the middle of the island. So the Pine Barrens are all throughout the middle of the island. All right, and on parts of the South Shore too. They like this, so they go from here, and then as you go further out east, they go a little more toward the South Shore. All right. There's the Pine Barrens right here. So by severing this link that I have to travel east from Mineola, because they've severed it by not having any service, no shuttle buses, and having to rely on NICE, which takes a long time. You have to allow a whole extra hour. All right. When a shuttle bus could make the trip, if they had a shuttle bus that let's say ran straight from Mineola to Hicksville, and then another one that would serve Car Place in Westbury, the trip would take 20 minutes maybe. All right. But they don't do it that way. They don't do it that way. Instead, they shut the whole main line down between Hicksville and Mineola. No service. And no shuttle buses. They direct everybody, nope, sorry. You have to go all the way to the South Shore. We'll provide extra service so you can give all those spoiled South Shore towns their business. And go all the way, get your, all the way to Babylon, and then all the way back to Hicksville, and then all the way back to Ronkonkoma and Port Jefferson. It's so stupid. It's so stupid when you should just have a shuttle bus between the 2 points. I'll tell you, they should have a shuttle bus. There should be a shuttle bus between Floral Park and Mineola. That's what they should do, and then run service from Mineola east. But they don't do that. They want to screw all of us on the main line. They want to screw all of us on the main line. And this becomes a big problem because, again, it comes between me and the Pine Barrens. And let's say I need to travel west. Well, the only bus that's going to take me west is a shuttle bus to Hempstead. Who wants to go to Hempstead? Hempstead is very dangerous. You don't want to go there. It's very, 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 very dangerous. All right? Dangerous. All right? Danger. All right? You don't want to go there. All right? Period. All right? You don't want to go there. All right? I'm not going there. So what I have to do in order to go, I have only 2 options. I have to walk about 2 miles to the Garden City Station to catch a train from Mineola. So I have to do this walk. Or I have to take, I could take the 4041 and then have to pay extra. Or I'll have to take the 22 or 24. I guess I could take the 24 to Floral Park and then get train service there. I might have to do that. That might have to be what I'm going to have to do. But they're making my life very hard, and here I am stuck in the same situation again. Completely needless. Mineola is a key station. How can they treat us like this? They are turning this town into the next Westbury. All right? And they've become between me and the Pine Barrens. And anyone who comes between me and the Pine Barrens, as you'll see in this rant coming up, is going to face my wrath. Okay, folks. It's time for me to rant about what's happening. We're in the Pine Barrens. I actually did a video over at Fireman's Park, but I couldn't find a good spot to actually set up my camera. So I take a trip up to, I just felt like traveling out to Riverhead. And we're just going to do this here in the Pine Barrens, just around the county center. So let's talk about what's going on in Mineola and in my life, because it's outrageous, all right? Because I am tired of having to go through the same problems that I dealt with in Westbury. What did I have to deal with in Westbury? A dead town, no life, empty stores, illegals, hoodlums hanging out and causing problems, and unreliable, infrequent Long Island Railroad transportation. Well, here we go again. It was hard to get to the Pine Barrens from Westbury, and now they're going to make it hard for me to get to the Pine Barrens in Mineola. Why is that happening, you may ask? It is because the Long Island Railroad for the next 3 Saturdays is cutting the mainline service once again for the 3rd or 4th time so far this year. Not offering any shuttle buses, not offering any way for me to get to Hicksville other than using NICE bus to get out east. And Mineola has no service at all whatsoever because they're doing a switch replacement at Nassau Interlocking, which I know is needed. I know it's needed. All right, I know it's needed. It's important that it gets done.
because that's a switch that in New Hyde Park that has problems a lot. But the fact that they have to shut down the entire main line between Floral Park and Hicksville is an outrage, right? They could run trains to Mineola if they wanted to, just like when they did the bridge replacement at Culver. They could. They chose not to. They chose to leave people stranded because that's what they want to do. They want to leave people stranded. So here I am in the same situation, stuck in a crappy town, dealing with unreliable public transportation because Wall Street just wants to keep us down. What's going on is we have a very bad situation that's happening in the middle of the island. The middle of the island is in a free fall. This whole thing that's having no bus service. I already spoke with one of the owners of a business that's right by the train station. His business is hurting as a result of this. He's got no customers because when the trains are shut down on the weekends or on Saturdays, there's no. So we have 3 Saturdays in September. This is going to be happening where the only option for people provided by the railroad is a shuttle bus to Hempstead. Nobody is going to Hempstead. It's a ghetto. It's a hellhole. It's a dangerous place. You don't want to go there. And people aren't going to be doing that, all right? What they will be doing is going to the South Shore, going to the Pretty Little Babylon branch, and going to the South Shore where all the finance professionals in their own little enclaves getting the best of everything. They're going to get 3 trains an hour. They're not going to ever be screwed like this. Because when they do a shutdown, like on the Long Beach branch, and there's no shuttle buses, there's no train service, they get shuttle buses. They get shuttle buses because it's the South Shore, a lily white, finance professional demographic, but the middle of the island is being ruined. And I'm stuck in it once again, all right? I'm stuck in it once again, that I got to deal with this nonsense again, all over again. And then I have to try and fight to move all over again. Because it seems like there's no hope for Mineola at this point. I'm very close to giving up. I'm not saying I'm definitely moving out of Mineola, but I'm seriously considering it now. Because I need to get around. I need that public transportation. I need that train. I need that train. And if they really have to shut down the train, then they should be providing a shuttle bus, an express shuttle bus to Jamaica. That's what they should be doing. And they should have a bus that goes to Hicksville too. But no. They don't want to do that. They don't want to provide shuttle buses because piece of garbage Pat Foye, who is in collusion with Andrew Cuomo, just wants to screw the middle of the island. Pat Foye, I am telling you right now, if I'm available the day of, I already told my friends this, but at the next MTA board meeting, the full MTA board meeting, if I'm there, I am going to tell Pat Foye to his face what I think of him, all right? Because somebody needs to stand up against this tyrant. Somebody needs to stand up against this tyranny and this governor, Andrew Cuomo, who is ruining our lives, trying to purge us out. This is all by design, to ruin the middle of the island so only the lily white finance professionals get to live there with their own kinds. And if you're not one of them, sorry, you're going to have a miserable life. And then you're going to be so depressed, you're going to be forced, well, sorry, if you want to live in a safe town and be able to get to the Pine Barrens, you're going to have to live in New Jersey, in Toms River, where it's much hotter there. I don't know how I can survive in Toms River. It's so hot there, all right? I don't see how I can survive, all right? But at the same time, I can't survive this. I can't survive dealing with this all over again. Not having shuttle buses and the fact that no one seems to help us, the media doesn't care. We're all in the same boat. Hicksville, all the middle of the island towns. We're all being ruined. This whole mainline third track project, there are a couple of people who I didn't want to listen to in the beginning who said, John, they're not doing this to improve the train service. And you know what? Now I believe that those people are right. They're not. They're not. What they are doing it for is to put more freight trains through the middle of the island. They want to industrialize the middle of the island into an industrial urban wasteland. They're not going to improve the service. They could already improve the service if they wanted to. They choose not to because they don't want to. They want to have the best service on the Babylon line because that's where their Wall Street, lily white, preppy, Brooks Brothers, entitled, arrogant, selfish SOBs live. They get everything their way. And you know what? I'm going to call them out in this video because people are like, why are you so mad at them? Why are you so mad at them? Because they are standing in the way of my happiness. All right? Because it's clear that I'm probably not going to be able to have a happy life in Mineola. I'm going to need to live in one of those South Shore towns, in Lynbrook, Rockville Center, Merrick, Belmore, Wantagh, Seaford, Massapequa. But You know, I've been told many times, we're not going to rent to you. Some people have flat out told me they're not going to rent to you. They do background checks. They want to make sure you're a finance professional, or they're not going to give you the apartments. This is America, folks. This is America. And then they have another way of pricing you out by raising the rent higher than the threshold that your agency can pay. That's another way they keep you out. All right? So all the little, this is what they do, and they're closing out the middle of the island, ruining it, trying to basically squeeze people like me out of Long Island. Been here my whole life. I don't plan on living anywhere else on Long Island, and I am prepared to fight like hell to make sure I get what I deserve. And if some people don't like that, it's too damn bad. All right? They don't have mental illness. They weren't diagnosed at birth with a chemical imbalance in their brain. I have a disability. I cannot work. That does not mean I shouldn't have the same right and access to a happy place, good transportation, and a happy life. All right? And if they want to deny me that, it's their problem. All right? It's their freaking problem. But I'm ready to fight like hell against Wall Street now. All right? I said I wasn't going to do any more videos about this kind of stuff, but it's clear I can't because it affects me and I have to vent sometimes. Sure, it's not going to be the majority of content on my channel. I don't want it to be. But there will be 1 out of 10 videos is going to be about this kind of thing. It has to be, because it's affecting me. I need to vent. I need to tell you what's going on so you, the viewers, can mobilize against Wall Street, against this corruption, and help us out in the middle of the island, expose what's going on. If enough of us speak up and rise up, we can overcome this corruption. But we have to rise up. We have to fight like hell to save our island. All right? You know, and this affects the Pine Barrens because the Pine Barrens are in the middle of the island and they don't get the respect that they deserve. You know, and it's really an outrage what's happening. All right? And people say, well, it's too bad you're going to live in New Jersey. Oh, we're going to vote down your video, we're going to thumbs down your video. You're not one of us. You can't live with us. Sorry, you're not one of us. You know, screw you, man. If I have to live on the South Shore to be happy, then that is exactly where I'm going. All right? And yes, I've spoken about climate change and the hurricane threat. But the reality is, more than likely, a hurricane, if you live South America Road, maybe in the next 20 years, maybe it'll go up to Sunrise. But, you know, as long as you're north of Sunrise or around that area, you'll be fine. All right? And if it comes down to it and sea levels really do start rising, they're going to probably build a seawall to protect them. You have to be with the chosen people. If you want to live on Long Island, have a good quality of life, and I can't drive. If I drove, I wouldn't even live in Nassau. I would live out here in Suffolk County in the Pine Barrens. But there's not much, you know the way Suffolk County transit is. You know the way the transportation is here. You can't survive, you know, without a car out here. It's hard enough in Nassau. But there are places you can do it. And I thought Mineola was going to be one of those places. I thought that they would never, ever consider shutting down the entire Mineola train station and not having any service west or east. I never thought that they could do that. But then they did, because it's the main line. And they don't care about the main line. They only care about their own kind. Cuomo is connected with Wall Street. It's all by design. It's all by design. They want the businesses in Mineola to close. They want them to close so they can put more drug rehabs in there, so they can have more vagrants and more homeless and more drug addicts, ex-cons, illegals, and all other kinds of all the kinds of problems. That's what they're doing. They're turning it into a welfare zone town, all right? And they want to segregate us because technically, because I'm disabled, I'm part of that. I don't have the right to live among the normal people. I've got to be segregated away from everybody else. That's the way these people think. And what happens if I lose this battle? Then I have to live, then I'm going to wind up in Toms River. And I don't know how I'm going to survive the heat there. But I'll tell you this, at least if I have to live in Toms River, I'm close to the Pine Barrens. And that is the most important thing in my life. And that's why I'm so mad about this work going on, because it makes it difficult for me to get to the place I love, which is the Pine Barrens. Right? It's true, people say, oh, if you're on the Babylon branch really doesn't go through the... It's true. But you can always get a Suffolk bus up to the Pine Barrens. You know, and there are Pine Barrens on the South Shore. You have them at Connecticut. You have them at West Hampton. You know, there are beautiful parks and places to go. But it doesn't matter, because where I live, I can't get to any of them without having to take a nice bus or walk all the way to Garden City to get a train. All right, and I need that train. I need that train to run. Pat Foye, and I'm gonna also tell off Phil Ang. Phil Ang, you're a damn coward. I have lost all faith in Mr. Phil, Long Island Railroad president. It's obvious. He came in with all this stuff, but you know what? It's the obvious. He only cares about his paycheck. He only cares about his job. And he's not going to go against Wall Street. He's not going to go against his finance professional friends at the MTA. He wants to keep his job and keep his paycheck. He's not going to take a stand for what's fair. Phil is a coward, a complete coward. And as far as I'm concerned, he can step down tomorrow. I don't really care anymore, all right, because he's useless, all right? I think that the Long Island Railroad needs a new president, like Anthony Simon, like Helena Williams, but we know the corporate hacks, the Wall Street, the finance industry, they're not going to allow that to happen because they control the MTA through our tyrant of a governor, Andrew Cuomo. There's a reason why Phil Murphy did not endorse Andrew Cuomo. There's a reason for that, and Phil Murphy realized Andrew Cuomo does not stand for the same middle-class values that Phil Murphy cares about. NJ Transit hasn't had a fare hike and probably won't. NJ Transit's not cutting service. NJ Transit's budget crisis is being solved, whereas MTA's crises are getting worse and worse and worse because we have a New York State governor that is corrupt. And all he wants to do is demonize the workers over the overtime thing, and it's the MTA's fault for that, all right? They didn't hire enough workers. It's the MTA's fault for that. But no, they don't see that way. No, they don't see it that way. They just want to screw the workers, because here's the thing, all right? All these snobs, all these white-collar professionals, all these little preppy, little entitled, lily-white people, they don't like the fact that a blue-collar worker can make as much as them. That's what it boils down to. And I've seen them when I was a member of that Long Island Fail Road group. I've seen plenty of them complain about the workers. All right, they didn't like the fact the workers made as much money as they made. Oh, they just punched tickets. No, they're responsible for your safety. They transport you safely to work and back every single day. That is an important job, and I'll tell you that, it's a lot more hell of an important job than sitting behind a computer trading stocks all day. All right? But that's not the way these people think. These stuck-up snobs, these entitled, arrogant people, all right? There are a lot worse things I could say. People say snob is such a terrible word. I try not to use any profanity, all right? I'm trying very hard not to use any profanity toward these people. But they must be defeated, all right? Because literally, what's going to happen is the South Shore is going to be the only, and probably parts of the North Shore, only decent place level. The middle is going to be completely ruined, an urban wasteland full of strung out drug addicts, zombies, whatever. It's going to be full of trash, empty storefronts, industrial wasteland is what it's becoming. All right, if we don't stop this. That's their agenda. That's what this third track project is really all about. It's not about improving transportation, because they're just making our transportation worse. We had better transportation on the main line before this damn project even started. All right? Yes, the second track project in Ronkonkoma. Remember they said, oh, when the second track project is done, we're going to have half-hourly service on the Ronkonkoma branch. Well, didn't happen. All right? Didn't happen because they don't care. I've been told, and I told them, I remember going to that meeting, I think a year or two ago, saying, you know, the Babylon branch gets too much service. And I said, why can't you reduce service in the Babylon branch? They're like, we can't touch the Babylon branch. They sit there, we can't touch them. They're untouchable. They're untouchable. That's the way these people are. Understand how I feel. Understand the position I'm being put in now, that I may have to move again. And if I have to move again, I'm going to have to try to convince, it was hard enough to convince my clinic. It's supposed to be a program that's supposed to integrate us into all of the communities. But unfortunately, what often all too happens is we're not allowed to integrate into the more desirable or good communities, and we're put in mostly the undesirable communities. I was so happy that I got in Mineola. Finally, I can get to live in a decent place. But they let me in because they knew it was going downhill. That's what happened. That's what happened. They knew it was going downhill, and that's why they let me in. This is just bullcrap. You don't see this in New Jersey. I bet you don't see this in New Jersey. But I don't want to live in New Jersey. But I'm telling you, I'm in the fight of my life. I don't want to have to move out of Mineola. I want Mineola to get respect. I want the corruption to end. But more people need to speak up. But right now, we're just up against so much, and the people just aren't rising up. And as long as things continue the way they are continuing, I have to look out for myself and do what's right in my life. And if that means having to move again and leave Mineola and move to a town on the South Shore, then that's what it's going to take, all right? That's what it's going to take. all right? Because I know there I'll have access to good transportation. Let's say I live in Lynbrook. Not only do I have the Babylon branch, the Long Beach branch, I also have the N4. The same for Rockville Center. The N4 runs 24 hours a day, unlike the 22 and 24. They have all-night bus service, so at least you do have that alternative, all right? You know, whereas in Mineola, especially on Saturday night or Sunday night, the bus stop running early. That's it. What if I go to Jersey and I get delayed? And then I miss the last 22 or 24. Then I got to walk all the way from Garden City because I sure as hell ain't going to Hempstead in the middle of the night. That is a dangerous place, all right? These are the kind of positions I'm being put in because of our governor, because of our county executive, because of our government. They have failed us, and I'm sorry if some people out there just have a problem with me complaining about this. I am grateful I have a roof over my head. I am very grateful for what I get, but it doesn't mean that I should be treated any differently than somebody who works and has a career as a finance professional. It doesn't mean that I should be treated any differently. I should be treated the same. We all should be treated equal. Some of us can't work. Some of us have disabilities. And unfortunately, there are people out there that just don't understand that. And I'm sorry. I can't convince them. I can't change their mind. All right? But what I can tell you is this. Nothing comes in between me and the Pine Barrens. All right? And when somebody takes away my way of getting to the Pine Barrens, there's going to be hell to pay. And you can rest assured that I will be speaking at future MTA committee meetings, maybe MTA board meetings, and Nassau County legislator meetings, and making the occasional video about what's happening because it needs to be talked about. The mainstream media, News 12, they're all preppy. They only gear to the white finance professionals. They don't care about us. They only gear to that white finance professional demographic. They don't care about people like us in the middle of the island. It's obvious what's going on. You see that preppy Macy Egeland or whatever her name is, and then that Rachel Spot. They're all preppy little blondes, little South Shore people that just think that they're, you know, there are a couple of songs that describe them, but one of the songs I'm going to dedicate to them before I wrap up this video, no, I can't play it because of copyright, is Glenn Fry's I've Got Mine. They don't care about us. They have theirs. They don't care. They don't want a thing to change. All right? So that is going to wrap up this video and this rant. The fight is not over. The fight continues, like Matt says. Mineola should not be treated the way it is. It's an important town. The middle of the island is an important corridor. It needs to be respected, but we are up against a lot. People need to rise up, and we got to fight against this corruption and fight like hell and not be intimidated by Wall Street. Let's get rid of this piece of garbage Governor Andrew Cuomo. Let's throw him in the slammer. Let's get Pat Foye out of there. Pat Foye needs to be in the slammer too. As far as Phil Eng, he's a coward. He needs to go. He doesn't have what it takes. We need somebody like Anthony Simon. Anthony Simon, I think, has what it takes. He ain't afraid to speak up. Or Helena Williams. You know, but Phil Eng, you're a coward. You let us down. I have no use for you anymore as Long Island Railroad president. And that does conclude this video. Thank you for watching.